Hello.
Oh, there she is. Hi, I was just messaging you. I was like, hey, I'm just sending it for ease of access. I liked your hair.
Oh yeah, I watched it. It's a thing.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I'm gonna put you on the. Do you like it like this or do you not?
What?
Can you tell you're spotlighted now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Just because I like you got lioness hair. You know, you got
Oh,
the.
thank you.
I love it. I love that. I love like this. I'm sorry if you take it offensively. I don't mean it this way, but wild hair. I love wild hair.
No, that's fine. That's all. It's only ever wild, so I appreciate it.
I love it. Yeah. Y'all don't know this. If you ever follow Bree on Instagram, you will see how she's a beast. Okay. The other day I tell everybody, I said, you're like what? 5'2" if on a good day.
On a good day, I am 5'2".
Yeah. I said, but let me tell you what, she could kick anybody's butt. Okay. You are so strong. You are like, I wish that they could see when you and Brinley or somebody else were going through and like, what are those called where you're like picking up
Oh, the
whatever?
snatch ladder. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, wow. Or when
Thank you
you,
very much. Thank you, Blaine. I appreciate that.
I am
I'm
so
small, but I
impressed.
try and stay mighty.
You are. And you just, I wish people understood what I'm talking about. I hear this.
Oh yeah. We do crazy things.
Insane. Okay. You
That was
inspired
the
me.
that was the only cool thing we did that day. If you saw all the other things where Brinley tried to squat me while I was on her shoulders, like it was a terrible fail. We do lots
Oh,
of
I saw that.
stupid
It was
things too.
hilarious. Yeah. Here you are doing burpees, which
Yeah.
y'all had us doing like about 100 burpees the other day. And I said, I'm out. I'm out. This is much.
What, you don't love burpees? Come on now.
Plead the fifth. This is about, yeah, we love everything.
Everything.
We love
Yes, we
getting
have to
better.
tell ourselves we love everything.
Right, right.
Yes.
I'm recently trying to change my mind around like certain menial tasks where I'm like, I
Uh-huh.
get to do this. We talked about that before. So
Yeah.
one of those is movements, right? Getting up out of our chair. And that's what you're here to talk about today. So great segue.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yeah, hey y'all. Welcome on. If you haven't been on one of these calls before, I come on here every month. My name is Bree. I am one of the coaches at StrongSide, and we do all of the wellness programs for y'all. So we also do those Zoom calls in the evenings. You'll probably have seen Coach Ashley, Coach Carrie, Coach Brinley, Mitchell hops on there from time to time, and then once a month I hop on here and I like to talk about something involving our health. I am the integrative nutrition health coach, meaning I talk about lots of things about nutrition, but really just all the different things that interact with our health on a daily basis. So I've been on here talking about sleep before. I've been on here talking about gut health. And obviously, I talk a lot about food, but with the three circles of wellness that we really try to stick to, number one is diet, our nutrition. And then number two is sleep and stress, how those things affect our health every single day. And the third one is movement. It's, active lifestyle. Like, how are we moving our bodies? Are we moving well? And I wanted to touch on that topic today, really diving into how we can move and start to feel better even when we're at our desks. So often every day, as many of you are right now, we're usually at our desks typing away on our computers and all these different things. And sometimes it can be a struggle to find time in our day to move. And oftentimes when I'm working with my clients, I hear a lot about different types of joint pain. Like I have back pain or knee pain or wrist pain, like all these different things. And a lot of it stems from what we're doing right here on the computer, typing away, because you all work very hard and you're busy on your computers. So that's what I wanted to bring here today is kind of bringing some different ways to move our bodies without leaving the desk. Because I know once you leave the desk, that can get kind of stressful in itself. Like, oh no, I need to stay and get to work. Like, well, maybe we can just fit something in there. If that's all the movement you can do in that day. And it can just be a good way to reset your mind and body when you're getting really stressed out. So what I'm going to go over today is the first thing I'm going to talk about some breathing exercises. And you can do these. Again, you don't have to turn on your camera or anything. Or interact at all. You can just follow along because what I really want to do is give you some tools to keep in your tool belt for when things are getting stressful, from when you are feeling achy or stiff, and things just aren't feeling so great. Yeah, so we'll go over some breathing first, and then I'm actually going to scoot my chair all the way back and I'll demo different movements, and y'all can follow along with me, or you can just watch and use for future use, and just watch what I do there. But all of it I'm going to do from my chair. I'm actually really not going to leave it at all, except for like 6 reps. So we'll see about that. Okay, so breathing first, and with these breathing exercises, it's a system called 478, and it's been popularized by a doctor named Dr. Andrew Weil. He is the leading functional medicine doctor in the country, or one of them. He's also the doctor that started True Food Kitchen. If you're familiar with that restaurant, it's the bomb. It's my favorite. But he's incredible. And so he learned this breathing technique from, I believe, a Tibetan monk. And the reason we focus on breathing first, to kind of center us and bring down our stress levels, is because from the time you are born to the time you die, breathing is the number one thing that we just know how to do. While all of the things in our bodies are automatic, our stomach will digest food, our heart will keep beating. But when we breathe, well, we can put that on automatic more often than it is. We can also switch it to manual. And that's really important, because our breath will change depending on where we're at emotionally, what we're doing, if we're active, if we're not. So think about how your breath changes when you are anxious, or overwhelmed, or stressed out, or angry, or even if you're calm and happy. Those are all very different ways in how our body is reacting to those emotions, and depending if we're moving or if we're not. So centering our breath is that important for that reason. And it helps bring down those stress levels, which, if you see my last few calls, it's really important for a lot of reasons. So with this 478, I'm going to demonstrate it first, and then I'm going to walk y'all through 4 breaths. It's just 4 breaths every time you do this process. I'll show it first, and then I'll walk y'all through it if you want to join me. If not, that's cool too, but I'll do it as well. I'll count you off. So I'm going to inhale for 4 seconds. And then I'm going to hold that breath for 7 seconds. And then I'm going to exhale for 8 seconds. Okay, so I'll show that first. I'm going to inhale. Oh, hold on, I messed up my fingers. Okay, let me start it over. Okay. Okay, I'm going to inhale. And exhale. That would be 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and count y'all through 4 breaths there. That would be 1. So we'll inhale for 4, hold it for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. Let it all come out of your mouth there. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Okay, ready? We'll go and inhale, hold, exhale. Good, one more time. Inhale, hold, exhale. Number 3, 1, hold, exhale. Last one, in, hold, exhale. Okay, so that is it. That's the breathing technique right there. And hopefully it's making you feel a little bit calmer with all the things that you have going on. This is a great little tool to take with you everywhere. Obviously it's mobile. And a lot of people actually do this in traffic, especially if you're here in Atlanta. Doing that in the car can be really helpful, but just to bring those cortisol levels back down and to release some tension. Okay, so now that we've kind of centered ourselves with that breath, I'm going to move my chair backwards so that y'all can see me from back here to do some exercises. Scoot this back here. Okay. All right. So the very first thing that we're going to do, we're just going to warm up our legs a little bit. And what we're simply going to do, you can come to the edge of your chair. We're going to stand up and sit back down 6 times without holding on to anything. So we're just going to lift up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a little harder than you think. I'm like, it's a little spicy. Okay. So we did 6 there. And now I just want to start warming up our shoulders. So still sitting from your chair, we're just going to start down, come up, reach up and back down. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And then we'll go ahead and we're just going to sit back up again. We'll do a total of 6 again. Go up. 1, 2. Maybe we need to press into your heels a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And then we'll warm up those shoulders one more time. We'll go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. So now that things are feeling a little warmer, we warmed up our legs a little bit. We have our shoulders a little warm. Now we're going to work on some stretching a little bit. So I want to help open up your back. So what we can do here, you can take your right hand and you can place it on the opposite side of your chair, so to the left side. Or if that's too much of a stretch, we can always place it on our leg here and just twist and press here. Kind of gently pull and twist your back. Hold. And breathe here. As we take a big deep breath in, we may feel a few pops here, and that's okay. That's a good thing. As long as we're not feeling any sharp pains, we'll just hold here and breathe. Good. And then slowly release as you turn back around to center. Kind of wiggle it out. And then we're going to go to the other side. Again, taking now your left hand, you can hold on to the other side of your chair or your leg. Bring that right hand around to the other side of your chair and pull here. This can be really helpful when you're at your desk and you just need to move your back around, help opening up that upper back and start to open up that lower back, especially if you're feeling stiff in that lower back. That's really common. And a nice big deep breath to open up your rib cage and help stretch that out. Good. And then slowly come back to center. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're also going to start opening up our neck a little bit here. We get a lot of stiff neck joints really often when we're sitting here typing away. So while you're sitting here, I want you to think about drawing circles with your nose. We're just going to do some nice big circles with our neck. Going to the left side or the right, pick your favorite side, whatever you want to start with. Just slowly filling that out, opening all that up. And then we'll go to the other side, drawing circles with that nose still going all the way around. Good. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're going to do some shoulder rolls now. Again, super simple that we can do right here at our desk. We don't even have to stop typing. If you're really skilled, but we'll just start rolling those shoulders forward. Really taking your time here. Do nice big shoulder rolls all the way up and down, going forward. And then we'll pause and we'll go backward. I always feel like I have a bag of marbles in my shoulders when I do this. I feel like every knot ever. I went and got a massage one time and the lady told me my neck was made of granite. I was like, well, that's kind of you to say. I need to do more shoulder rolls. Good. Good. And then one more time, we'll go forward. So I could do everything about 2 times. We'll start to feel a little warm now. I'm wearing a sweatshirt because Georgia decided to be pretty cold today for whatever reason. And going backward again. Feeling all those little creaks. That's okay. That's why we're warming them up. Good. Okay, now talking about our feet real quick. Let me scoot back a little bit so you can see my feet. Quite a few of my clients have issues with swelling in their calves, maybe in their ankles from sitting all day. I actually have many people who wear compression socks because of it, because even if they're working at home or in the office, all of that, they don't have a lot of circulation going. And oftentimes when we have aching joints, whether it's in our wrist or our knees or our ankles or back, it's because when we're sitting here, we're cutting off a lot of circulation. Blood can't move as efficiently to those joints, what makes them kind of creaky and achy there. So in starting with our feet, if you ever feel that you have swelling in your feet from sitting all day, what you can do is we're going to go up onto our toes and then sit back on our heels. So up on the toes and back on the heels. And we'll do this for about 30 seconds, flexing those calves a little bit, warming all those up. This will help bring some blood all the way down to the feet and help remove some of that swelling, some of that achiness. And thankfully, if you are in an office, like no one will even tell that you're doing it because it'll be under your desk. It won't be weird. You'll be fine. Good. And now that we have some blood circulating in those calves and lower legs here, we're going to take one leg, pick your favorite, and bring it up onto your upper thigh here. And what we're going to do, I want you to start rolling that ankle around in one direction. My ankles always start popping here, like a Rice Krispie treat. And then you can go the opposite direction. Nice shoulder roll, ankle rolls, I mean. Okay, so now once you do this, if you're feeling a little flexible, I want you to take your hand and start to press on that knee here. And you'll start to feel your hips stretching out right in here. When we have really tight hips, it's usually because we're sitting at our desk. So if you're feeling really flexy with a nice flat back, I want you to start thinking about bringing your chest down to your leg here. And you'll really start to feel that stretch in this hip, which is great. And we'll hold it here for a few seconds. This is really great, especially if whether you regularly exercise or not, after a workout and the next day you have to sit a lot, our muscles tense up and they get really, really tight. So this can be really helpful to open all this up. All right, if you are still hinging forward, you can sit back up now and gently release that leg. And now we're going to do the other side. Bring that leg up. You can start to press here, and don't forget this ankle roll on this side. Don't forget the other ankle. This one deserves love too. We'll do some circles here, forward and backward. If you're snapping, that's okay. All right. Once you do that, now we'll really focus on stretching out this other hip. So we'll start to hinge forward if that's your jam. If this alone is enough, stay right here. That's fine. But if you want a little more of a stretch, we'll hinge forward. The nice flat back. Nice deep breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's a really nice stretch. So even when you stretch out your hips and your hamstrings, that's also extremely helpful for low back pain. Oftentimes when people have low back pain, it's because their hamstrings are so tight. So when we do things to open up our hips and our hamstrings, that starts to alleviate lower back pain because it's just pulling on that lower back when we have tight leg muscles. This is really helpful. Good. And so if you're still hinging forward, sit on up. We'll release that leg. Good. And then we're going to do the other side one more time. Just show that hip some extra love. So as we get older, it's super important to stretch out these hips and take care of them. They start to act kind of funky as we get older. So let's take good care. We can hinge forward here and press a little bit more. Maybe you're a little more stretchy now. See, like even I'm like moving a little bit forward. I didn't realize how tight I was in the first stretch. This is good. Good here. Bringing that chest even lower maybe. Good. Now you can start to straighten up, bring that leg down, and we'll do the other side one more time. Like I said, I like to try and do things 2 times because again, look how much more flexible we are the second time around. Just loosening up all those muscles that work so hard for us. And it's a good reminder here when we start connecting breath to stretching, to movement in general, it really helps circulate the blood as well. Oftentimes when we are really stressed out at work or behind the computer, I don't know about y'all, but I catch myself holding my breath and I start to feel lightheaded and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, like as if I just worked out, but I actually just held my breath because I was stressed out. All right, y'all can go ahead and bring those legs down. And so now what we're going to do, we're just going to extend our legs out just like so and warm up those hamstrings and quads a little bit. You might get some snap, crackle, pops in those knees. That's okay. But this will help circulate some blood to those knees now. I like to try and do this for about 30 seconds. Try and sit up straight in your chair while you're here too. Our posture is also extremely important because oftentimes we start to slump behind that computer and we don't need to do that. We don't need to hunch those backs. Good. And this is kind of spicy too. This warms things up. So rest there. And now let's start to warm up our sides a little bit. So I'm gonna turn this chair around a little bit. So after we do those little marches there, I want you to go ahead and grab one side of your chair. So maybe opposite hand, opposite side of your chair or opposite side of your leg. And we're just going to reach over to the opposite side. Yeah, and you'll start to feel this side right here start to stretch out. And I like to find movement in movement so you can start to kind of twist a little bit, see how things feel, and you'll be like, oh, didn't know that was there. Things start to get kind of wonky. And if you need to come up and rest for a second, that's okay. Come back to center. Take a breath, and then we'll go back to the same side. Maybe you stretch even a little deeper. Good. And breathe. As we breathe here and our belly expands, we start to feel things move around a little bit. That rib cage expanding helps stretch things out. All right, and we'll come back to center. Let's do the other side now. Again, bring that opposite hand to the opposite side to kind of hang on here. And we'll go to the other side. Stretch out those sides here. Again, you can find some movement in movement. Sway a little bit. This is also gonna be like kind of surprising for a lot of people. Like I didn't realize I was this sore. What did I do? Or what did I not do? Like, oh, it's been a moment since I've moved. All right, then you can come up and relax for a second. Take a breath. And then we'll do it one more time. Feeling good. Stretching out all those obliques over there. Good. Okay. Then we'll come back to center here. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Now let's talk about our forearms here. So what's becoming extremely common is lots of like forearm and wrist pain. Carpal tunnel, to be exact, is what I see quite often now. So while we're typing away, we need to make sure that we're opening up our forearms here. So one thing, if you aren't in a room with a wall or a cubicle or anything, what we can do is we can just press backward. So what I want you to do is take one hand and think about as if there is a wall and you're pressing through that shoulder. You'll feel a stretch back here in the shoulder as well as through your forearm. And you can take your other hand and start to gently press your fingers backwards, even all the way, even to your pinky. We'll start to feel that all inside our forearm. You can hold here and breathe. This one can get kind of funky and weird after a while. Good. And then you can relax. We'll do the other side. Same deal. Feel like you're pressing through a wall, through that shoulder, while stretching out those fingers here. Really good. Beautiful. Sometimes I'll even bring my hands together and I'll just press here into one another while rolling my shoulders back. Stretching that out. I'll move my shoulders as I keep those hands together, move it, giving all that range of motion in my wrists here too, just to wake them up. Whatever feels weird. People get kind of like crazy in this motion, which is fine. You know, whatever's feeling good. But now I want to go back to that stretch, pulling at those fingers, not too hard, just whatever feels good. Even pressing through that shoulder, keeping everything active. Good. Then relax and we'll do the other side again. And breathe. That's the important part. Okay. Now, if you are in a cubicle or in a room with a wall or something, what I like to do is if this isn't enough, sometimes I'll like literally just press into the wall to straighten these hands out. Or you can always just bring it to the floor. Pretend this is the floor here. And I'll like start to get really funky and I'll like bring these wrists backward and press into the floor. That way, when you add weight to those forearms, you can really take advantage of this stretch here as you add weight down into them and you can start to lean backwards. All right. That's just if you have a wall or a floor that you have available to you. Okay, great. We're moving right along. Beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is we're going to kind of open up those shoulders even more. We start to build a lot of tension back here in our shoulders and our traps. So if you are familiar with yoga at all, you have probably seen this before, but we're going to take one arm. So take your right arm, bring it this way. So we're going to try and have your right arm, the right palm will still be facing the right side. Then we'll take our left arm and bring it right underneath here. Okay. And now as we stay here and we feel that stretch in our shoulders, I want you to start to shift that right arm towards the right side and start to see how that feels. You might feel it in some strange places. You'll feel it in your forearms and you'll feel it in your shoulders. And you can bring it back to center. And then we'll lean again and bring it back to center. And then we'll switch arms. So relax. Bring one hand up. I'm going to try and face that palm the opposite direction here. Bring this hand. And we'll start to lean to the left. Great. Facing that palm, opposite direction. Then you can come back to center when you need to rest. And then we can lean again. And breathing. Even I forget to breathe sometimes. Good. We'll shake that out. Last one I want to do that can be really helpful to open up your chest and your shoulders as well is it's called, if you've ever done a cat-cow, we're going to be doing a sitting up cat-cow. So taking your hand, you can interlace your fingers. And I want you to feel like someone is pulling you by the hands and let your back go backward like a cat. Like if it's like, you know, when it has a hunched back, and push your hands forward as someone's pulling you by a string and let those shoulders come forward and that back go backward. Breathe here. And now I want you to shift those elbows backward. And we're going to arch our back and just hold here. With our chest high, and breathe. And then we'll go forward again into that cat position, being pulled forward by the shoulders, by the hands. Breathe here. This is not the cutest posture, but it feels really good. Good. And then now we will go backward, back into that arch position. And now while you're in this arch position, you can drop the hands and grab the back of your chair and start to pull with your chair so that you have an assisted little back bend here as you let your head drop backward. Breathe. And slowly come back up to center. Good, and shake that out. Beautiful. And then as always, I keep saying, remember to breathe. That's the most important part, because breathing helps bring down that heart rate and those cortisol levels when we're feeling really tense and antsy. And even taking any of these movements that we did here today is really helpful, just to break it up into your little breaks during the day. Oftentimes, like, we stay at our desk and we can't move because we have to get this work done. But studies show that when you take little breaks in between, you're actually more productive. Even taking 2 minutes to do some form of those movements that we just did can be really helpful in helping you be more productive while also feeling better. And this is a shorter video here today. Those were my most favorite movements I just wanted to go over. Whether you want to like sit up in a chair and wake up, those glutes, or you just need to stretch out those shoulders, that's wonderful too. But those were all of the movements I have for you here today. I'm gonna bring this chair forward. This was a shorter video here today, but I wanted y'all to have some tools in your toolbox. Wrote an email and came back, and we were stretching. Yeah, we're stretching. We're doing all the things. And if y'all have any questions, please let me know. But I hope these were helpful and that you feel a little bit better after some stretching, some breathing. It sounds really woo-woo. A lot of people will say that, and I totally get it. But it can be really helpful. I'm not asking you to light a candle or say a chant or anything. Just stretching and breathing can be extremely helpful. If y'all have any questions, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Brianna, if I could spell my name right. Brianna at the-strongside.com is in the chat right now. And we still, don't forget, like, movement can be medicine. Like, oftentimes we just need to move when we have aching joints, when it may feel like the opposite is really the exact thing that we need. So don't neglect it. Move even while you're at your desk, wherever you can, and take that time for you, because you deserve it. Just because you're worth it. So thank you all so much. Oh, I'm so glad y'all enjoyed it. So glad. Take these as you will, and I hope you use them again. And I'll see y'all next month. I'll have another topic ready for you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday. This will be recorded. I'm sure Blaine will put it out there for you. So have a beautiful Wednesday. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bree. Thank you.
Thank you.
She was listening.